Are you the guys on the beach who hate everything?
What was that from?
I think last week when we were talking about Saturday Night Live, I don't think it made the final cut. Another throwback to fucking Pink Floyd. Hold on to that dream. We talked about SNL movies, and one of them was It's Pat.
Oh man, come on. Why do you gotta bring that back into people's psyche?
Well, the thing about It's Pat, it permeated pop culture so much. I don't even think anyone in 2020, they're not reminiscing about the band Ugly Kid Joe.
The guys who did the Cats in the Cradle.
They did the
remake.
Cats in the Cradle cover, exactly. That's probably the one most people know.
Where it's just like the only thing that sounds like they just added reverb to it, you know? Like
They also did another song called Everything About You. And the whole song is, you know, singing about these things this guy hates about his girlfriend, and then the chorus is like, I hate everything about you. Anyway, it was in the Wayne's World soundtrack.
Wait, is it the I hate everything? Is it that guy?
No.
But I was about to say, it's the exact same lyrics. Wait, I thought you were about to hit me with a stunner. I was like, I'm learning a lot about these new metal songs, man. I learned a lot this week.
A bit older. It predates
I was about to say
the angry white boy just mad over nothing, it seems, early 2000s.
We'll fucking get into it.
Yeah. But anyway, what's so great about Ugly Kid Joe was that they, not once but twice, they had a video for a song called Neighbor. And in that video, they were a loud rock band that annoyed the families in suburbia. One of the families and people living on the block just happened to be Pat from It's Pat, and they're sitting in like their house, like, the noise is so loud. And what's great, in quotes, on the record version of the song "Everything About You." Because the music video for the song is them performing the song on a beach, it actually has a clip of the actress who played Pat.
Their song is inextricably tied to that very awkward idea of a character.
Yeah, but in a movie based on another SNL property. It's weird. But beyond that, talking about Saturday Night Live real quick, I wanted to talk about a movie I saw.
What did you see, man?
I don't watch a whole lot of movies. Like, my attention span kind of sucks these days. There's a lot of movies I want to see. Like, we've even talked about it on the show. Like, we talked about Sorry to Bother You and all these movies. Great movies that I wanted to see, just never took the time to see. However, it is spooky season, so I felt like watching some horror movies, all right? And we've talked about horror movies on the show before, too, so this isn't a foreign topic. I watched Hubie Halloween.
What?
Hubie Halloween is the new horror comedy starring Adam Sandler. And it's a film in which Adam Sandler plays a character named Hubie, who is not only obsessed with Halloween, but is also obsessed with protecting his the citizens of the town he lives in, which just happens to be Salem, Massachusetts. Go figure.
No. Okay.
And what happens is essentially a not great, but watchable movie. If that makes any sense, like, you could definitely put it on.
Don't do this. Don't get suckered into Adam Sandler's insanity. It's what's gonna fund his next crazy Twins 3 nonsense he wants to fund. Don't do it. The next thing where he's just gonna go to Honolulu and pretend he's making a movie. Don't do it.
Film a fucking movie on a cruise ship if the cruise ship industry survives COVID-19, which I doubt it will. The thing is, I used to really like Adam Sandler movies growing up in the 90s, like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, all of those.
I was with them all the way up to, not even gonna lie, all the way up to the Jack Nicholson picture.
Wow, see, I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, I was watching that one when I remember it being like a quotable around my school. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a wildebeest. I remember people making that joke. You know what I'm saying? Making that reference.
That doesn't resonate with me at all. Up until that point,
you don't want to know.
I would say for the longest time, the most recent. I think I dropped off at Mr. Deeds. I watched that and I was like,
I remember Mr. Deeds.
That was okay.
Yeah, that was the one where it's like, you really just have to like him, the personality of him being, he's just such a swell, nice guy, and Adam Sandler can't be depicted as bad in any way, you know, like that type of guy. At least not bad in any way that can't like immediately be redeemable, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so then for the longest time, I just didn't watch an Adam Sandler movie, not until I saw the movie 50 First Dates on a date in the theater.
Yeah, and that, I remember, did we talk about that? Or it was just like, I wanted to see that one purely because it's like, how the hell are you going to end this? And then getting to the end of being like, yeah, no, you did not stick that landing. That was an awkward fucking ending, bro.
Yeah, it really was. I don't know if I recommend people watch that for themselves, but since then, I haven't seen an Adam Sandler movie. So I haven't seen Jack and Jill. I didn't watch.
No, I was out of there. You couldn't even get me back with Spanglish. I'm sorry.
I didn't see Spanglish. I didn't see Punch Drunk Love. I didn't see Eight Crazy Nights. None of those. I didn't see any of them.
I saw Eight Crazy Nights, though. It's by the same company, the same animation company that made The Iron Giant. Ain't that a bitch? Oh,
shit. Yeah, I can see that. The animation style is very similar.
It's just like, we want to make good movies, and you can't get the funding for Iron Giant unless you make this shit.
Yeah.
Well, a bunch of fucking deer shitting in frozen ice or whatever the fuck.
Hysterical. So, Hubie Halloween, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and also not nearly as problematic as I thought it was going to be, because that's another thing.
Oh, no Rob Schneider and brown face or some shit?
No. I forgot the movie Ridiculous Six, the movie that actually had Native Americans walking off set because it was so offensive. Adam
Sandler had to complete his offending everybody, pack there. It's like, who haven't I offended yet? Oh, I'm Adam Sandler.
And that was a Netflix film, so maybe Netflix was like, hey, we're not going to make another movie with you.
You like my impression there?
I loved it. We're not going to do another one like that, so this one has to be a bit more, to the books. So the only thing that could potentially be, or we were worried it might be offensive, was we thought there was going to be a transphobic joke in it, but I don't even think it was a transphobic joke. It's weird. You'd have to see it. But anyway, Rob Schneider is in it, but a very minimal amount. Not in a completely offensive character. They could have done a lot of wrong things, and they decided not to. They showed restraint, so I got to give them to him there. However, I would be remiss to not point out that it is basically an Ernest Scared Stupid knockoff.
Okay, there it is.
That's the problem, man. If you grew up in the 90s and you were an Ernest fan like I was, and you saw all those movies in the early 90s...
Oh, me too, bro. I saw those movies too, yo. My mom would rent them at the Blockbuster.
By no stretch is Ernest Scared Stupid a flawless movie, either. It's probably one of the best Ernest films, but that's a pretty low bar, if I'm being honest.
It's like, look, you can't get the Jim Carrey movie, this month. So, hey, here's Jim Varney. You know what I mean?
You got another rubber-faced white guy doing impressions, doing voices. It's basically the same.
It's his southern cousin, basically,
So, I even thought that Hocus Pocus, and this might be a controversial statement, that Hocus Pocus kind of ripped off a little bit from its predecessor, Ernest Scared Stupid. Maybe not directly, but it has a lot of the same plot notes.
Is there stuff in Ernest Scared Stupid about, like, the fucking virgin needing to be sacrificed, and then the movie making a weirdly big deal about it for being a Disney movie?
Yeah. And see, in this one, it's only implied that Hubie is a virgin, but it's not a plot point. People were speculating that when Adam Sandler said, if Uncut Gems doesn't win an Oscar, I'm gonna make the worst movie ever made. Spoiler alert, this ain't it. So, either Adam Sandler tried to make the worst movie ever and couldn't, or we've still got that coming down the line. So keep your eyes open for the next Adam Sandler film, because this one's not terrible. I don't know what I would give it number-wise out of a 10. Maybe a 4? 5? Maybe? But something else we wanted to talk about was this developing story, and it's a bit old news by this point, but we haven't talked about it. The gentleman who went viral on TikTok skateboarding.
Yeah, this is really like sweet. I was just like, I didn't know about this when you sent me the story, so I was like, oh.
He's on a skateboard drinking some ocean spray cranberry juice, lip syncing to the song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, which is a fantastic song. And the reason we're talking about it now is because of the meme, Dreams is back in the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah, and it's charted above Franchise currently. Which I was like, wait, because when I scrolled down the list, I was just like, oh, this song was like #1 last week, and wait, it's already below this song that like came out like at least 30 years ago. What the hell's going on? It's like, damn, dude.
I think that in itself is enough reason why we should never really devote too much time to Travis Scott unless it's an album review, because these fucking singles, it was basically like fucking Trolls, where it became #1 for some reason, and then it was just fucking gone.
And now it's like, it has that status, so we can claim that, but it doesn't really have like, you know what I mean? Like the full heft of like, oh, fucking a Mariah Carey single that was like #1 for like months. You know what I mean? Like,
we got Highest in the Room that did the exact same thing.
Oh, he's game in the system. He's definitely, I mean, I remember reading before about how he was like, somehow him selling merchandise was like counting as selling albums and stuff like that. It's just like, because Nicki Minaj got mad at him for doing that, but she was planning on doing it too. Remember there was that whole thing that was just like, okay, look, you guys are all cheating, so what? Why are you mad? Because he did it better.
Back to the Ocean Spray guy and the reason it's relevant now. The song in the video began trending once again. The drummer, Mick Fleetwood, made a fucking parody of the video, doing it himself, which got everyone talking. And since then, a whole lot of really shitty people have been doing it. I've seen cops doing it, military personnel, but we don't need to talk about all of that.
Whatever, man. Yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to hijack that shit. But the main story here, essentially, is that Ocean Spray bought this man a nice fucking truck because it got him a lot of attention. And apparently Ocean Spray is a pretty decent company, too.
The reason why he had been skateboarding is because his potato truck had broken down.
He didn't have running water at the time, so a lot of people were sending his Cash App around, trying to raise him some money. I was really hoping that before Ocean Spray stepped in, that you fucking boys and gals from Fleetwood Mac maybe should have floated him a little bit of cash as well.
Hey, he sent him a card. You don't know what was in the card. You don't know what was in the card.
That's true. You're right. But yeah, I just wanted to say, sometimes good things happen. That's a good bit of good news for your boy. I love it.
Yeah, look out for the helpers, like that was just like a cool thing that the internet did. Where it's just like, yeah, all right, let's give him some shit. Yeah. Sometimes
the internet does it right.
I will say he is a man who should not need to, if he is a working man, he should be able to sustain himself with an income that is good enough for that. So, let's work towards a society where that's a thing. That would be nice.
It's always a part of a bigger systemic problem.
Yeah.
Always. Every fucking time. But we gotta get to our album reviews because we done goofed and we gotta make right. Vernon Parks requested a couple albums some time ago.
Yeah, he had contacted me about one of them, and then you had said like, oh yeah, there was one that he had contacted me about. I was like, oh snap. And then they both just happened to be from the year 2000.
The year 2000. So yeah.
And so I'm thinking, we make it,
thinking.
Yeah, the 2020 retrospective. You know what I'm saying? On these 20-year on. I don't know what the word would be for to describe both of these albums because they are very different albums and doing very different things in very interesting ways. I don't know how to describe this anymore without spoiling either one of them. So let's say we get right into it.
Yeah, let's start with Mystikal's Let's Get Ready.
Boo.
My experience with Mystikal outside the hits, non-existent. So this was my first time hearing really anything else.
The hip-hop preacher from the South.
I was a bit surprised by this album. I didn't dislike it like Hubie Halloween. I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I was going to. There are some really, really great songs on here, but because we gotta get to it first, we gotta talk about the worst ones before we get to the good ones.
Because it's still a Master P joint. I remember, the Stutter remix. You remember that song?
No.
By Joe, I can tell you're lying because when you're replying, stutter, 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 stutter. Remember that song?
Oh, vaguely.
Oh, man, it was on the, now that's what I call Music 8, which also had Gorillaz on it, the, Clint Eastwood, so it was always, one of my favorite ones to play whenever I was, doing shit, you know what I mean?
Man, I even had that one. I had too many of those, by the way. As someone who, for the longest time, wasn't a big fan of pop music, I had, the first 14 Now CDs, so...
Wow! Not a big fan, eh?
I guess not. But also, maybe.
You're just only the best, curated tracks, that's what I'll tolerate.
I would always skip to, the last 5 songs.
That's where all the rock songs, yeah, I remember. Yeah, Mystikal on that verse where he's like, quit your lie, never watch yourself. To buy yourself. Tattoos and a platinum out. That fucking flow. Yeah, how could you forget, man? And you know what's interesting? That song was from the Double Take soundtrack. Do you remember that movie? He was all around that. See, I think I happened to watch his movies. Did you ever watch the movie The New Guy? The most 2001 movie of all fucking time. Fucking Tony Hawk just comes out of butt fucking nowhere, just I'm just skating at this random ass fucking house party.
Oh my god, I didn't remember that. That's funny.
And I think Scott Stapp from Creed appears at the end for no
Holy
fucking reason whatsoever.
I wouldn't put it past it.
It's just why is this happening in this film? But on the soundtrack at the very beginning, there's a part where DJ Qualls is dancing, like a dumb white guy, whatever. And they're playing the song The New Guy by Mystikal, which is sampling a James Brown track, but it's him rapping over it with his very sort of Southern preacher inflected voice, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a perfect track. And if you listen to it, as he's rapping, it's actually really fucking good. It's just I remember listening and be wow, I think this song is too good for this movie. What?
They get out of the way early, too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all downhill from there.
And it's so embarrassing because this really good song that's sampling this other really cool song is playing over this embarrassing white dude dancing, and the joke is supposed to be, oh, isn't it ridiculous that the skinny white boy likes black culture? Ooh, Another movie that Eddie Griffin was in, actually. Look, there's a connection. See, we did it. We made it.
At first, I was going to say I thought Mystikal was more of what we've referred to as a hook guy. The chorus is where it's at and the verses aren't that strong. Something I noticed about this movie, that switches gears about halfway through, where all of a sudden the choruses aren't that good and the verses are a little bit better.
The hooks on some of these later songs, I wanted to like the family song for how it's a more intricate song about talking about his family. And then there's a whole verse where he's just saying people's names, and I was just I have no connection to this. Whenever rappers just do this, we're just saying people's names. It's I guess you're lucky that all these people's names rhyme, but other than that, it's just I'm not getting anything from this. But I did like the way he ended it though, where it's just if you're not in your own backyard, watch what neighborhood you in, because one of my folk might come up and ask you, and then it hits back to the chorus. I was all right, that was kind of cool. Where are you from? But then just hearing the hook itself of,
I'm from here. Yeah, that chorus is bad. I'm a fan of just about every hook provided by the Neptunes.
Why the fuck couldn't the Neptunes have produced this whole album? It's not fair, because they are just the perfect foil for his voice. They just know what to do. Just a little burn. It's just enough, and he can flow and go off over it, and you hear all these this motherfucker has punchlines on flows. I'm telling you guys, honestly, I've never listened to a full album before. It's just from all the tracks I've heard, and I remember always the thing being Master P is a whack rapper. He just ripped off Tupac. You know what I'm saying, to try to sound hard. Ripped off his sound, but for the South. I remember even listening to Make Him Say and when it gets to Mystikal's part, being wait a minute, hold on, that was a really good verse. That was really complex. And then going on down the train and be yeah, he's making these big hit songs, but it's ludicrous, where it's it's not just big fun hits. He's actually really lyrical with it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I maintained for a long time that I was just no, Mystikal's one of the better mainstream guys, because it's he adds personality into these songs, and he adds little just references to things that are so fun in ways that just makes you go oh shit, yeah, I know that reference. You silly motherfucker. You know what I mean? like, and there's one or two dozen, like, you know, just saying shit like, that's your ass, Mr. Postman. Like, just little references like that where it's just like, I can't help but like this song, you know? And just the way, the like arithmetic way he throws them in there, like, so you're just like caught off guard perpetually, you know?
I didn't really even mind him listing off the people's names because of the way he did it on Family. Like, if I was listening to the full album, I'd probably skip over that one. Like, I mean, again, like, not for the sake of the review, because it's not the strongest cut. And I wasn't a big fan of the Beyonce bootleg singing on that one, who, on Genius, it just listed them as female singer, so I don't even know who that was, unfortunately. But the songs that had the lowest ratings overall for me, in order in which they appear. First of all would be the completely unnecessary I Rock, I Roll.
Oh my god, what in the fuck? I got to that track and I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, they literally just repeated, not even track 7.
It's just a remix of the first track, but with a different tempo and, like, samples and elements that, like, are completely distracting and clash and don't work nearly as well as the first song. Like, I would just skip over this one. As soon as I realized it was the same lyrics, it was just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I listening to this again?
And even, like, you put this at the end of the album to be like, oh, hey, look, my friend did a little remix, you know, whatever.
And even then, I wasn't the biggest fan of the opening track either. Like, it's about middle of the road, not one of the strongest cuts in my opinion.
I thought it was a fine intro for, like, especially when track 2 is such a better, like, pumped up production. It's like, okay, this is how an album goes. You have the in-house guy, you know, come in and do the first track, and then you get the big hits. But, like, once you really get a taste for what Neptunes gives you, you're like,
exactly.
Can't we just stay with them, please?
And we talk about this every so often. Smoked Out.
Oh, I enjoyed Smoked Out, actually. I enjoyed how much it was just kind of like a, you know what, fuck it, it's a smoke song. Yeah, fine. And the fact that,
even
you know,
smoke songs go, it was fucking whack. I didn't dig that one.
It's low-key. I don't think it's like, it's not like throw it on the playlist immediately, but, you know, it's fine. I like the lyrics where he's like, I like the instance. We run out of weed, that's senseless. For instance, I'll be round this bitch smoking till I got dentures. 3 smoking songs, each who be charged, you know who got the credentials. I made it 4 smoking songs, I done got it. So loaded I forgot to count this.
I know I'm gonna catch a little bit of flack for this one, for context. But the other song I would definitely skip over is Murderer 3.
Really? You didn't enjoy that one?
No. And I think enjoy
I thought that was really, like, intense. I feel like it puts you in that emotion in a way that, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes an artist wants to make a song, you know? Like, that's just like... And I feel like it puts you... Now, the musicality that's behind it doesn't service it.
It's a complete tonal mess, and I don't know what I'm supposed to think or feel listening to this. I respect him making the song. Like, for those who don't know, his sister was murdered in 94, and this even touched on in another track where he talks about it briefly. But it's not an entertaining song. And I think it's a hard subject to make an entertaining song, because it's really just, like, shouting, and I get the anger.
I could feel the sentiment of what his words were and, like, putting you in that moment of anger that he was feeling. You know what I mean? And, like, sometimes an artist wants to make that song, you know? And it's like, I like that he, as a commercial artist, was willing to take us to a dark place, you know? And it's just like, so many artists don't really take that chance, especially if he could have just kept making the booty club songs, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, like, you went for that and you didn't need to. Like, you know what I mean? You could have just done another song with Outkast, you know? Like,
speaking about Outkast, why would you put it between the Smoke song and the Outkast song?
When it comes, if we're talking about the songs we like the least, I gotta say that one was the one I liked the least. And I couldn't believe it. Because I'm listening to his flow and I'm just like, this doesn't fit on this beat at all. It's like way too smooth for his verse, you know what I mean? Like for how he flows over it.
Nah, that for me was one of the best tracks.
Oh, seriously? I mean, I liked, like, Outkast when they get on it, but him being the first third just feels like, what the fuck is it? Like, he's just not on the beat. Like, he feels like a Capadonna type rapper, and it's just like, no, you're usually good at, like, getting this. You know what I mean?
I think getting him out of the way first is a good idea. than to have Big Boy fucking steal the show. I'm sorry, Andre. There's no fucking comparing. Andre's verse is okay, but it's no Big Boy verse. That was...
You're right.
Especially over this beat, it was heavenly.
Yeah, no, that was perfect. This should have been on a fucking... we should have swapped this out for the problematic fucking Mamacita joint and had this be on Aquemini.
Yeah. That song got a really high rating. Actually, the highest rating on the album for me. Other songs that got very high ratings were Ain't Gonna See Tomorrow.
Oh my god, that one was another one where it was just like, holy shit. When he talks about like the car crash that he'd gotten in with his friend.
That was the one where he talks about his sister being abused by her husband also. That was the one I mentioned before. The whole like last verse is about that, and goddamn, it's such a thoughtful track, and it's so goddamn good. Man.
When he's rapping about it, like you actually hear, like he talks about how the car flipped 10 times, and you actually hear what sounds like a realistic car crash moving over, and it's just like, holy shit! It just brings you into that dark place, and on the hook where he like legit goes into the like DMX preacher role, and it's just like, holy shit, dude, like. Oh my god, you got it, man. It's like you're more than just the shake it. Like, you know how to use your voice, and it's incredible to hear. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say the difference between Murderer 3 and Ain't Gonna See Tomorrow is the difference between a song like Kim and 97 Bonnie and Clyde. They're essentially the same thing, but one is way better of a song than the other one.
One's more, yeah. I get what you're trying to say.
Another track I gave a really high rating to is Goddamn Big Titty Bitches Catching Mystical Fever! What the fuck, man?
For a fucking hook like that, the lyrics were just insane. Big Titty Bitches Catching Mystical Fever!
Fucking Mystical Fever. Fuck me. That's such a great tune. And I gotta give it to Danger. Been So Long featuring Nivea. Compared to Shake Your Ass, which for me, I wasn't the biggest fan of that one.
I think it's interesting how, again, like, Neptune's still doing, like, little weird things, like having the hook, like, Mystical does the hook, and then just a breakdown happens in the middle of that, and then
they
it
have
just goes
their
back
own
to the
kind of
hook
verse.
Again. Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you're not allowed to do that, but it works, and it's still so cool.
Fucking Danger has, and I had to quote this, because goddamn, the pussy cutter, did I stutter, the heart flutter, make a woman draws, melt like butter, down like Nelly, I'm hype like Belly, the rhyme seller, kick ass like Jim Kelly, stand up, round out, boot up and frown, tell him if you want to try, then bitch, come on down, no sweat, no blood, no tears, and if I tell you that it's shit, then bitch, that's what it is.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Okay.
Dude.
Or that fucking lyric where he's just like, sharp, like you pulled me out the pistol sharpener. Bad, like that student in the principal office. But rappers and coffins, they dive like dolphins. I'm the damnedest lyrical morphin, you don't come across often. I was like, shit!
Another tune I had to quote on this one, which also had a pretty high rating, was, again, produced by the fucking Neptunes, Jump.
Yes, another fun one.
You get tackled by the style I'm using. I got all the adversaries cruising for a bruising with contusions, cuts and lacerations, broken bones and open sores, ripped spleens, sprained ankles and broken nose. I'm a bust the microphones I rip on. I step on stage and get my grip on. That's when you get stiffed arm. It's on, and I'm the shit, Holmes. I fucked around and lost counts of bitches I put the dick on. So like, goddamn, like
the same quote I put down, man.
When he fucking starts rolling. When he gets to that momentum, there's no stopping him.
And I even quoted a later lyric where he's just like, nigga, you just like 10 yards, always the first down. I was like, God damn. It's like, Jesus.
So many goddamn memorable quotables in this goddamn album.
It was a straight up football themed rap song. Like, as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, he's actually like using a bunch of different shit. I was like, holy shit. Come see about me.
Yeah.
With goddamn Da Brat.
Da Brat.
Yo, I need to throw Funkified back on. God damn. I fucking forgot. Excuse me.
I really hate to say that fucking PD Pablo drops the ball. Because Da Brat really elevates the track, and then Petey just fumbles it.
Oh, just the most average man ass rapper you've ever heard in your life. Like, he's just the southern version of Obi Trice. You know, like, look, I'm here, I'm pretty cool too, right? And it's just like, no, we'll hit you up when you have the hit songs, but I don't think your services are required for lyrical dexterity. I don't think so. Although, oddly enough, the ending track that he did kind of was interesting. There was like a bonus track with, when Master P's try to, cross promote them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, when I heard it starting, I was like, oh my fucking God, seriously. It was like, bonus material, please buy this, Life of a Sinner, Volume 1, or whatever the hell it's called. And Diary of a Sinner, yeah, that's the name of the album. And then you hear it, and it's like, it actually kind of like, he's able to do the sort of gruff preacher voice a little better on that track. I was like, that actually kind of works here. Okay. Like, I get what your appeal might be, but yeah, on this track, nah, it was just like, and fucking Mystikal gets like 2 verses as if to fucking apologize for what Petey Pablo did.
I had to quote this because I couldn't disagree more with this bit. Here go 3 of the best on this goddamn track, and you can believe that. Willing to bet my jive check. If you don't rewind this back, something wrong with deck. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with my deck, Petey. Way to date this fucking song, by the way.
It's working very well.
Yep, no, I'm checking it right now. I got the head cleaner in there, making sure the fucking the wheels are going just fine.
And then just fucking Mystikal comes in. Such a bunch of fucking cowards. Ain't worth the dirt to come on my ass and go down the drain as I take my shells. And then he says that little thing at the end. I'm the Southern Cowboy. Howdy.
Oh yeah.
How did he make that cool?
The interjections, fuck, man. The personality he brings on these is so good.
Oh my God. Even Big Truck Boys, which is one of the ones like that was a little less cool to me.
It's kind of filler, yeah.
Yeah, but just like the way the chorus happened, and like I couldn't hear what he was saying at first, so I thought he was saying, buckle up, boy, big old fuck boy. So I was able to enjoy it on that level, just like, what is just like angry at the guy hanging out with?
I thought it could have been a filler track also, but I think the verses are pretty strong on the braids. I wasn't a fan of the chorus.
Yeah, exactly. I remember listening, like, as I was listening back to it again, I was just like, oh yeah, here's the braids with that weird chorus. You can't fuck with the braids. It's just like, I don't think that's the most notable thing about you.
He brings it up a few times, too.
Yeah. Like, I guess I was like, that's just one of the things that just became one of his monikers. But it's just like, no, I would go the gruff voice. That would definitely be first.
You're the only fucking rapper on the scene with braids in 2000? I doubt
that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but the verses were like oddly really good. I was like, oh, well, okay, never mind.
Overall, what did you get for this album?
I actually gave this one a 4.5 out of 5.
I got a 3.5.
I enjoyed the shit out of so much, like even more than even I was expecting. Like it got deeper into his life than I was expecting in a way that's just like, whoa, like I already had respect for this motherfucker, and I just got more. You know what I mean? Like that's such a great feeling, There were some really great tunes that I wasn't expecting, but there were way too many, like, kind of middle-of-the-road filler tracks. It's a Master P album. There's going to be those fillers, yeah.
Some I just thought were kind of meh. Also, they kind of brought it down, unfortunately. We got to talk about Hed PE broke.
Oh, man.
Your boy's Hed PE. I got paid to review another one of their albums a few years ago. And I hated it. Fact. It's really fucking bad. It's really homophobic for no goddamn reason. Jared, the lead singer of the group, is insufferable on that album, and I gotta say, it's not much different here.
Ooh, then let's fucking get into it, my friend.
This is really bad.
Oh, this is fucking atrocious. I couldn't fucking believe it. I had just gained a newfound respect for new metal this year. I had to do a review for a fucking, what was that track? Remember the Name? And so I was like, I wanted to listen back to some of the Linkin Park stuff, and I was like, yo, hey man, this stuff really was like a lot better than, I feel like a lot of people gave it credit for just because it was mixing with hip hop and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
When they came around, they raised the bar, because by this point in 2000, this album is the bottom of the new metal barrel.
I can fucking believe it. Even Limp Bizkit Ooh, I'm so tempted.
Dude, that's what this feels like, is knockoff Limp Bizkit. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Straight the fuck up. It feels like knockoff Limp Bizkit that thinks it's as cool as Rage Against the Machine. You know what I'm saying? Because every now and then he tries to go for some hardcore shit and it's just like, what? No, the fuck you are not that guy. What the fuck are you doing? You know? Like, I think about it. Like, yo, I remember, like, Korn. Fucking Korn has been in this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I was thinking about as I listened to this album. Nu metal works. There was a song I was listening to. What was it? That fucking those assholes Trapped. The song was Headstrong. I think you won. Headstrong. I think you know, it's really vague and fucking stupid, but at least it gives you like how nu metal kind of functions as like how it can work. You know, like I think nu metal works when it sounds like it's embodying a sense of justified rage. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very milquetoast version of that. But I feel like you know, I could throw you a System of a Down. Rage Against the Machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, even fucking Korn was like angry at their mom and shit.
My big problem with early to mid 2000s angry white boy shit, and I mentioned it before, is when they're just mad at what seems to be nothing at all. Like, what the fuck do you white boys got to be mad about exactly?
It's like, I'm listening to this, he starts using the N-word, I'm like, oh, this is a black guy, and wow. Yeah, I definitely feel like this should be a little bit more interesting just as a musical mashup, but no, they're just going for like the cheapest, like the fact that they use I Just Wanna Celebrate on this nu metal album, man, did that just raise my fucking eyebrows. I was just like, okay, not what I would have gone for.
And you know, that track, because it's slightly different and catchier than the rest, is the only song I even remotely enjoyed.
Honestly, just because it just like gives you that odd moment of like, where the fuck? Okay,
why
I guess we're here
that?
now. Yeah, like if this part was on another song, this would be so enjoyable. But oh my god, dude, I was expecting Korn. I was expecting a type of like, okay, this is gonna be immature, but if you listen, maybe he's talking about something that's kind of important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no!
What's going on? Why is it so bad?
The first two tracks, like, are called Killing Time and Waiting to Die. And oh boy, do these songs embody the sense of just nothingness that these titles are. Just like, don't actually mean anything but sound like they're dark and brooding. Waiting to Die, Killing Time, when really it's just fucking sitting around, just listening to this nonsense. Baby, I'm a survivor. Baby, I'm on fire. Baby, I'm about to creep up inside you. Getting high all day, drinking whiskey all night, flipping off the police when them tricks pass by. Whoa. Immediately, I was like, this is like Limp Bizkit if he was like pretending to be deep. Like, at least Limp Bizkit doesn't act like he's not just like angry because his ex fucked some other guy or whatever the fuck. And tried to give him a cookie or whatever the fuck dumb that shit that song's about. But look me in the eyes, baby, ride with me. I can take it there, baby, ride with me. I know what you want, where you live, what you need. I can make it real, hold it down for you, feel you bleed. Who are you talking to? Like, what's this song about? It's so, like, edgy for the sake of edgy to sort of lyrics that clearly don't fucking mean anything. You know what I mean?
I was completely unfamiliar, or at least I'd forgotten Jared or Gerard or Gerard's nationality. So when I first heard him dropping N-bombs, I was like, and then to find out
I was thinking like, oh, are we on some 311 shit? What's going on?
And then to find out he's of Afro-Brazilian descent, it's like, okay. I've got a very interesting quote for you, okay? In a review of this album when it first came out in 2000. And by the way, when this album dropped in 2000, a lot of people reviewed it very favorably. So maybe this just hasn't aged particularly well.
I get maybe like, you know, it fits in with the time, I guess.
I think that's the thing.
It really does sound like
dated.
The thing is, it sounds like if someone today made an album that was riffing on the ridiculous lyrics of those types of albums. It really does sound like a parody at some level. You know, it's so, like, ridiculously dumb and edgy try-hard, you know?
I think you'll get a kick out of this. The reviewer said this album was, quote, about as black as this pimp rock is gonna get. Hip-hop, credible in a way no one in the field has been since Urban Dance Squad.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh man, I am not one to say that someone should lose credibility. But if you think Urban Dance Squad is repping for the culture, get all the fucking way out of here. ... It's a great album. I don't know about that. No, sir. No, siree. No, siree. And I say that as someone who has listened to this new metal, and it's like, I can see the flavors of it where it's like, this stuff is actually a little better. This stuff, yeah, may be weird, but it's trying to say something. This is nothing.
Jared's terrible, but I gotta talk about something that straight up disappointed me. 2 tracks in a row, we have some features by some pretty big fucking names, okay? Waiting to Die features East Bay Ray, the guitarist from Dead Kennedys. Now, if you've listened to Dead Kennedys, they have a pretty particular sound, a very legendary punk sound that is not here. I don't know why you would even get East Bay Ray when all he's gonna do is do some knockoff Korn riffs. I don't know. He didn't add anything noticeable to that cut. And talking about wasted potential, Surge could not even save Feel Good.
Oh, man.
What the fuck was he doing here?
Oh, although he was the best part of it, like, right? Just by proxy, purely.
Even then, it might be the worst verse I've ever heard from him.
Feel good.
Nah, fucking hell,
Imagine him singing this lyric with the dead-eyed face that he has now, you know?
Oh, no.
We just want to feel good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Fucking, oh, man. And I looked up, it's like, they tried to call this G-Punk? I was like,
oh my god.
Where's the punk? Where's the funk? Where's the... Barely sounds like a G. What the fuck?
This is the most fucking lukewarm nu metal shit, and to even argue that it's anything more than that, no fucking way. I can't stand for that. That's ridiculous.
Oh my god, fucking waiting to... Everybody dies! Everybody dies! Shut up! It's so immature! You know? Like, and then, what was the fucking lyric? I'll bust your lip, keep talking shit, guard your grill, a killer will fire and will... Get out of here. There was like one lyric where he's like, I fucked the system that first fucked me, I question the authority to kill a minority. That was like one little lyric that was like a reference to fuck the police. And maybe there's like 1 or 2 weirdly religious allusions that happens later, but it's just like everything. Oh, fucking bartender, Jesus Christ, I just scrolled down and saw it. I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. How in the hell is this the lead single? Holy Christ.
It's the only remotely catchy song on the whole album. What else are you gonna go with? I Got You, Pac Bell, Stevie?
At least it represents what they actually sound like. Pac Bell had an interesting sort of, you know, where they were using the dialing of the number as they were mixing it up. I thought that was a cool, interesting
It was
sound.
something different, but that was the first song on there where I just said, nah, skip. I'm not fucking with this. Because it's so goddamn off-putting.
When he puts on the cool guy voice, hey, thought to hit me with the double and introduce me to the girl with the bubble.
No, stop.
I'm looking for trouble tonight. No, mama, don't trust me tonight.
Ew.
What? Like, why would you say that? Who gives a fuck? Take it to the bedroom. Take it to the streets. Take it like a man, motherfucker. Yo, bitch shows me, motherfucker. And it's like... Oh, like in a normal rap song, a lyric like this might be passably cool. You know, you're just here for the beat and when the hook comes back. But like purely outside of that, this just sounds like douchebag rock. Like, yeah, that's when I first like wrote that down. Like without like the cool beat underneath it. Because like with this sort of sound, I'm supposed to be feeling what you're saying. You're supposed to be putting me in the moment. And in the moment it's, oh yeah, I fucked your bitch. It's like, it doesn't work on a nu metal track, homie. You just sound like a fucking douchebag.
I was able to tolerate his more singing delivery on The Meadow, the last track. It overstayed its welcome by 2 minutes in, and then it just repeats like crazy. And then I have written down, there's no way the song is actually 9 minutes. There have to be bonus tracks.
Oh, we'll talk about the bonus tracks. We'll talk about that in a second. Because I got something to say.
Were you not entertained by the vocal outtakes?
Oh God! You know what? If you just want to talk about it, let's just fucking talk about it. Because as I'm listening to this out, again, didn't know these guys from Adam, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like listening and I'm just like, okay, you know, this is awkward, whatever. And then I'm listening to the ending where it's like, it's just so put on its face how much of a fucking pose this whole thing is.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's a good point.
One guy in the background says like, yeah, do the fake brother voice, do the fake brother voice. And I'm like, and at first I want to give him the benefit of a doubt. I'm like, oh, is it like a specific character they're going for? But nope, the next thing you hear is the lead singer putting on this affected black guy voice. Oh, it was so fucking awkward. I was just like, it's like straight up. I don't know if we can call this musical blackface if he's a black dude, but this motherfucker definitely Mantan Marlin in this shit and putting on the fucking gloves.
I sent you a link in your Twitter DMs, by the way. I sent you a video you might want to take a look at real quick. Skip to actually, hold on, where is it? Skip to about 4.5 minutes.
You were really about to make me watch for it? Oh, he's dancing. He's getting down.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah?
That's Jared.
What?
That's Jared?
That's the guy from Hed PE.
Yeah. In 88 in a different band. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, so how old is this guy, first of all?
Right. At the time of the album that we reviewed, that was a few years after this, he was about 40, so he was probably in his 30s at this point.
Oh, wow. That is interesting. That's certainly unexpected. Who is this guy? This fucking borderline trying to be Prince in the time, motherfucker. What's going on here?
I'm super impressed by his fucking dance moves, by the way. I'm not even gonna front. And this song is catchy as hell. I do dig it.
I'm impressed by the variation. Certainly.
The switch from the clue to this, just what you said, put on, that he's doing on this fucking album, it's so disingenuous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I get having fun. I get having fun making a track, but this feels like feels kind of insulting, honestly. Yeah. Like, oh my god, what was that fucking Stevie track?
That got a 0 for me, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, what the fuck was the hook? Come on, I'm no deaf or dumb. I'm not little Stevie Wonder, whatever. No more lies. I'm like, he's not deaf or dumb. That's literally the two senses that he does have. He's blind and he actually can't smell, which is a weird one.
Is that true?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Car accident where there was like a fire, I think.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. But yeah, so you literally got like the exact wrong senses. Like, and, oh my god, that really settles it. That really brings it all together. Just knowing how much of a fucking pose this is. And it's insane because like there's some level of like parts where it's just like, oh, that's kind of interesting. This one she tracks like, oh, that kind of sounds like, you know, what Korn was going for, you know, like type of Korn track, you know what I mean? If there was anything actually happening in these lyrics, like I said, if it wasn't this fucking LMFAO lyric writing motherfucker at the helm, just on the title alone, boom, how you like that? I smoke weed, I drink wine, take your daughter to my tour bus and fuck her from behind. That was the lyric. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then the next lyric is like, it's gotta be like that. Call me a loser. Yo, I can deal with that. And he's saying like this fucking sub-insane clown posse rhyming going on here. But just the fact that he goes like, oh, call me a loser, I can deal with that. I'm sorry, didn't you just say I'm smoking weed and drinking wine and fucking your daughter on the tour bus? What loser is that? Like, it so wants to be the rebellious shit, but he knows he has no real fucking problems. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so fucking annoying. Like, I can't even enjoy it on the level of like fun douchebag rock, where it's just like I can get behind it because like I'm pushing through, ready or not. It's just like, ugh, this show just sounds gross. Like I said, I'm getting the fucking oozing douchies. And then we got Swan Dive, where they were doing at least like that was the one where they were the most doing the 311 pretending to be reggae shit at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But like, and when I was thinking about it, I was like, I at least enjoyed the imagery of the hook. Well, not necessarily enjoyed, like it's so unnecessarily ghoulish in relation to the song. You know what I mean? Like it's so just trying to get that visceral reaction out of you. But like on a certain level, it's like, at least it is getting that. At least I'm getting, like, the most annoying thing is boredom. Like, it's at least getting something out of me, like, swan diving into the asphalt, the fact that you just said that. But then when you listen to the lyrics, he's just like, oh, I watch too much TV and I eat too much food. It's like, what? It's like it's such a basic bitch version of I'm filled with eggs, so I'm gonna kill myself. Notice me, mom, and girls who won't talk to me at school. Like,
what's so funny about that is the only note I have for Swan Dive was, I'm so bored.
Where are the angels? Nowhere. Where's the compassion? Nowhere.
Like, throughout so much of this album, I was just sitting there with my chin resting on my hand, like, can something please happen? Oh, we're already like 9 tracks in, this is almost over? Alright, we're not gonna get anything. It's so fucking badass, braggadocio, machismo bullshit, and we know it's all bullshit. We know it's such a fucking put on. It's so hollow. It's Kid Rock wannabe, Korn wannabe, Limp Bizkit
insane
wannabe,
clown posse wannabe,
and it falls short on every single one of those fronts.
Right? We found the worst in Insane Clown Posse band, bro. I swear to God.
We didn't even mention, by the way, that they did the interpolation of I Just Want to Celebrate on Bartender, and then on the very next song, Crazy Legs, they did an interpolation of a Biggie song. Like, they couldn't spread these out at all.
It was so weird that was like, right, just a 1-2 combo of, now we're doing this?
It makes you think, like, was there something on the previous 3 songs that I missed? Do you do this on every cut? What happened?
And you know what it is? Like, I was thinking about, like, with that Mystikal album that we just talked about, like, I was thinking as I'm listening to these beats, I'm like, wow, I wish Mystikal was rapping over this. Wouldn't this sound so chaotic and insane if this, like, crunchy shit was happening with a Mystikal, like, preacher type rapper who's actually saying some cool shit? You know what I mean? Like, wow, we were really at a fucking disservice. Like, imagine if someone just, like, remix albumed the last album we just heard with this, and took off that extra track, that just repeats itself.
Pimp Rock, G-Punk, what?
Get out of my face. Who are the critics? Who are the critics? This is why we needed diversity right here. These people always complain about, you're trying to force diversity. This is why we needed it. So people who are actually black and brown can see it and be like, what the fuck y'all talking about? No, that shit, what you say? What the fuck did that guy just say? No, that's stupid. Pimp what? Maybe some UGK or some shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God. And then fucking Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh, that was a snooze fest.
What in the fuck is this doing here? No. 20,000 leagues deep on the mic. What? Mass murder, court convicted, terroristic creature of the night. No, don't let me get freaky tonight. No, don't feed me tonight. What are you doing?
This fucking voice you're doing is phenomenal. I love it. I'm here for it.
It's like he's doing these voices, but they're on the wrong songs, it feels like. Like, it feels like this weird voice should have been on the earlier track with, like, a more, creepier thing happening. Like, it feels like these are in the wrong places, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got a 1. How about you?
Fucking 1.5.
Yeah. You gotta throw him a bone here and there,
Yeah, the musicality and, swan dive into the asphalt. Like, I can see that coming on, in the 2000s, and if I'm a stupid 12-year-old, just headbanging to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds intense. Like, I can imagine on some level listening to, like, that's what it is. Like, I could imagine being a high schooler listening to it, but even then I would still be like, wait, what? Wait, what? Like this would be one of those songs like I would be a fan of it, but then immediately start hearing what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like, this would be the immediate problematic fave. Like, that's the best I could see this being. Like, hey, maybe you heard a single, you really liked the way they sampled, you thought it was really challenging the way they sampled the Notorious B.I.G. for a new metal track, so you thought you'd give him a chance, you know what I mean? And you got the album and you're like, well, sunk cost fallacy, okay, I guess I like this. And then you're like, wait, is he talking about fucking my daughter? Like, what the fuck? Who is this song about?
Who is this fucking for, honestly?
Yeah. Oh, the fuck at the end. I at least got enjoyment out of the end, like ironic enjoyment out of the end of him just like after a while of just the continued takes. Where like again, if you just frame it in the sense of like, well, what I thought was a 40-year-old in 2020, but I guess a 40-year-old in 2000, doing a joke of new metal, and at the end, you know, this is the fucking what's that fucking movie? You know, the metal band from the 80s that was like a joke album.
Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap, exactly. If this was like a new metal version of that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're doing the end of the where'd everybody go? You know, like I could see enjoying it purely on that silly, ridiculous level, but anything outside of that, I don't know who the fuck. I'm sorry, man. I can't rock with this shit.
As I mentioned earlier, these albums were requested by listeners, and if you would like to request an album to be reviewed on the show also, it is so easy. Head on over to our Ko-fi, that is ko-fi.com/goinoff. That's GOINOFF. For the time being, until we get the queue down a little bit, because we've got like 30 albums lined up, it's $60 for an album review, and 70.
But no, we will be getting to it.
And 70 for an album that you made, produced, wrote, whatever yourself. If you want our honest opinion on your work, step right up to the plate. We'll be completely honest, as we have been in the past, brutally if need be. Like I said, that is 70. We got our link trees in the description, so you can follow us on Twitter, Twitch, what have you, our individual YouTubes, Patreon, Ko-fis, all the different ways you can help us, follow us, know what we're doing, keep tabs on the goings on, never miss a beat. If this just happens to be your first time listening to us, all of our old episodes are on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify, so you can play some catch-up, listen to some episodes you might have missed, scroll through, maybe an album will jump out at you like, oh, I want to hear what they had to say about that one, and, you know, click that one. That's always a good place to start. And that's really about it, honestly. I think that about wraps it up. So, until next time, for Goin Off, I'm Muse.
And I'm Rap Critic. And to give you the best example of Hed PE's lyrical content, 10 million hungry! Yeah, eat the rich, but pay me, motherfucker!
Oof.
Yeah, doesn't that lyric hit nice, especially today?
Oh, God, I forgot all about that one. Oh, no.
You piece of shit.